All right, we're hopping right into it. Episode 2? Are we on are we on 2 already? Crazy. I lost count. Big day today. Okay. For a lot of reasons. It's a good day. We're going right into it like a journal, like I said. Okay? It's not a journal though. It's a podcast. And I understand. I've been contemplating the differences since I said, my dad's calling me. Hold on. So a very funny phone call with my dad just now. But that would be so cool if I had my own mic so that I could have taken that call with my dad, because that was a funny phone call. Anyway, so I'll just talk about it. He called me and he was like, "Hi, Evan, how you doing?" I can't do his accent very well. I'm not an accent guy. Wish I was. And I go, "I'm doing great. How are you?" I don't need to, word for word. Do you need to do the phone call? Anyway, I go, "What are you getting into right now?" And he was like, "I'm listening to music on my porch." Very sweet. It is 10:44. And he lives in Pittsburgh, so it's 10:44 there, and that's nice to me. He's just out. He's a night owl. He's been a night owl these days, like me. We're in sync, Dad and I. Anyway, so he's sitting on the porch right now as we speak, I think, or he might be. Anyway, he's listening to music on the porch. It's nighttime. And I ask him what he's listening to, and he says, jazz. He's listening to jazz on his porch. It's just so sweet. Anyway, he was like, "What'd you do today on 4th of July?" Or he goes, "Well, what'd you do today on this big holiday?" And earlier in the day, I saw a group chat or a group text from. I had received a text from the group chat in my Vietnamese family. My Vietnamese family's group chat, okay, and someone must have been making a joke that it was Canada Day, and I'm just gonna preface this by saying I didn't know that it was 4th of July today. And I was like, "Oh, nice, it's Canada Day. I have Canadian relatives. That's funny." So I didn't really read into the message. And then my dad asked me what I was doing. Anyway, there was a better punchline there. The punchline is I forgot it was 4th of July. Some patriot I am. Thought it was Canada Day. It was funny. Anyways, side note, my mom texted me today and was like, "Hey, by the way, I think you said that your dad was half Asian in the previous podcast, and you must have misspoke." And I was like, "I must have, because he's not half Asian. He's full Vietnamese." Okay. Anyway, he's full. I'm half. I'm a full half. I'm not a quarter. Okay. You know. Anyway. But before we get into my big day, the more I hype up my big day, the harder it is to enter the big day in my mind. But before I talk about that, y'all may have noticed that there's no splish splashy. There's no sloshing. And that would tell you that I'm not in the bathtub. And I'm sorry to disappoint. A lot of positive feedback about the Tubcast. Okay, I like the enthusiasm. A lot of really nice things people said. A lot of good feedback. Or everyone is just being nice to me. That's, one or the other. Either way, I'll take it. I'm having fun. Big day. Also, guys, it's so hot. Okay, can we talk about how poor I am? I went into this raw, dude. I was like, no preparation. I've got my phone. I've got big ideas. I'm doing this. It's going to be great. But I wish I had a mic or some kind of setup because, damn, it's hot in here. And I'll tell you why that's related. I can't turn on the AC because it's loud. I can't turn on the fan because it's so loud. And you might be able to hear the buzz of my fridge because it's so loud. I guess curse the iPhone for being awesome or whatever. But I could use the setup that cuts all that out. A microphone is the setup. Anyway, all that aside, big day. Woke up early. Pretty early. Early for me is like, somewhere between the 7:39 range, okay? I woke up at 7:30 today. Pretty early for me. Woke up early because I had a big day working with Kendra. Shout out. Awesome time. Had a great time to Kendra and co. Kendra, Stina, Tyler, and Franklin. We cranked that shit out. And by shit, I mean landscaping. Not gonna get into how cool that is. It doesn't sound cool, but it's so cool. Anyway, so there was, 7:30, got up, ate breakfast, drove to Sheets, got vitamin water. I'm in love with vitamin water, and it's a problem, guys. Everyone in my circle knows, has been seeing it. No one's saying anything. No one's like, man, he really drinks a lot of vitamin water. If you guys cared about me, maybe you'd let me keep drinking vitamin water. That's why. You guys are great friends, by the way. No, but I drink a lot of, and it's a particular vitamin water. It's the, I might have a, this is, you guys are interested in this. Aha, found one. Of course. Why would I have any doubts that I would have found one in my recycling? It is the vitamin water energy, emphasis on that, tropical citrus. Okay. Vitamin water is so good. Sue me, okay? It's so good. And the reason vitamin water is so good is because it's, it tastes watered down to me. And I water down everything, okay? Most things I like watered down. I like, Anyway, that's just me. I'm a watered down boy, okay? And that just speaks volumes about my personality. Big day, went to Sheets. So, went to Sheets, got my vitamin water. Started working at, I'm not going to go through everything. Started working at 10:30. A lot happened between then. It was, 10:30 to 6:30, so that's 8 hours. 8 hours of kicking ass is what it was. Is that correct, that math? Yeah, 8 hours. 8 hours of whoop ass, dude. It was good. Anyway, I get a call after that from my buddy Jake. Well, did I get a call or did I call him? There was a lot of correspondence throughout the day with a lot of different people, between me and a lot of different people. Jake and I, there was a connection of correspondence there between Jake and I for a lot of that day, and then get it together, Evan. He called you. I called him. He called me a bunch. I called him a bunch. We call each other. That's how it be. One time, Jake sent me, my buddy Jake, I'll have him on the cast. You guys are gonna hear all about Jake through Jake. You're gonna get it from the horse's mouth, okay? Hopefully. If he's being nice to me enough one day that he's like, I'll get in the tub with you. Anyway, we call each other at the same time, and we said, hey, what are you doing later? He says, going to see the Minions. Okay, Jake has 4 kids. 3 of them are young boys, okay? Of course, they're going to see the Minions. Fine. I want to preface this by being like, what the hell is up with the Minion thing is kind of where I was at. Before I had seen the Minions today. Did I say that I saw the Minions today? So this is where the story's going. He invites me to the Minions, and I'm like, hell yeah. But I'm actually like, hell yeah, after I was like, oh, you guys are going to see the Minions, dude? All right. Already feel weird about the Minions, but I can get into that later. But I was excited to say yes, because that's good content. Go see the Minions, tell people what I think about it, okay? Because that's why you're here, to hear me talk about the Minions, okay? But let me get my notes. Where are those? But before I talk about the Minions, all right? After work, I went out to dinner. That was nice with my friends. Again, shout out. It was a very nice dinner. Very brief, because, by the time Jake had called me and was like, we're going to see the Minions, and I was like, I'm locked in. Before that was, so at that phone call was at, I don't know. Let me think here. Probably 6:30, right after dinner ended. Right after the work day ended. 6:30, I'm getting a call about the Minions. I'm there. But the showing is at, 8:20, okay? And all my friends, they love me so much. It's so sweet. They wanted me to go out so bad. And I was like, I gotta go, kinda. But, what's an hour and 50 minutes? That's plenty of time, okay? So I went and had some dinner. That was very nice. Beautiful waitress, by the way. She was kind and seemed to have a great head on her shoulders. Beautiful angel, okay? So that was nice. Dinner, we had pizza. It was great pizza. It was like a cauliflower flatbread. It was very good. But I left dinner in a tizzy. They had to be there somewhere too, so we all split ways. And, I'm rushing. I have to do a bunch of shit before I get to the theater. And by a bunch of shit, I mean, take a shower, get fresh clothes, but there's a lot of nuance, okay? Because I had to take this work truck back to my friend's house, which was close to the site, which was, and by close, I mean 20 minutes away, okay? So maybe I wasn't managing my time very well. I had to get there, drop off the truck, and I had to take a shower at their place. And thank you, sweet Tyler. I'm wearing your corduroys and a nice shirt right now from my friend Tyler. Blessed me with this sick fit. Zoom on over to the theater. I'm 30 minutes late. No biggie. Which is fine, because I get there. And I was like, great, I'm just going to roll in. And knowing nothing about the Minions, of course I felt weird going in, because I was like, I'm alone, and I'm 24 years old, and I'm about to walk in there, and I'm about to be like, nice, fine, how do you do today? Can I have one ticket for the Minions Rise of Gru. So I can watch this movie alone by myself, which wasn't the case, but it would have looked like that. So I was a little nervous going in, and thank God everything's getting automated now. Not thank God. Very dark, dystopian, philosophical, deep, dark, terrible that everything's being automated. But thank God, right? Because I go in there and I'm like, oh, great. Because you can go in now to this theater and there's like this tablet and you're like, which movie do you want to fucking see? And then, man, I'm like subconsciously watching my language. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. I should be, not everything's funny when you're dropping fucks all the time, Anyway, so you walk up to this tablet and you're like, great, there's no person here. I don't need to look like a freaking weirdo, okay? But I couldn't figure it out because I was like, the movie's at 8:20. There's no showing at 8:20. It's at 8:50. And I was like, did I go to the wrong theater? Oh my God, I was panicking a little bit because I was already excited. I was like, yes, I'm seeing the Minions so I can take notes, okay? It's for research. But I was panicking a little bit because it was like, did I go to the wrong theater? Anyway, I get what are they called? The concierge? No, that's not what they're called. Maybe. There was a guy there, and I was like, he was so clearly worked there, right? By the way, he was wearing, what are they, golf caps? Why do the... Another thing, here, I'm just in retrospect, I'm thinking about his outfit now. Why are movie theater workers dressed as golfers? Anyway, he was wearing a golf hat or whatever those hats are with the with no top, right? And it said Regal on it, which is Regal Cinema, is the theater in Harrisburg. And he had a shirt on that said Regal, and I walk up to the guy and I was like, hey man, I'm panicking a little bit. Do you work here? I said, but I was kind of saying, do you work here because does anybody work here now? Like, what do people... That's a stretch, obviously, because concessions... No, I don't know if concessions are automated. They might be someday. Anyway, I was coming from that energy of being like, well, where are the workers? You know what I mean? So I walk up to this guy, clearly read his thing, and was like, yeah, he works here. But I asked him, do you work here? Anyway, looked like an idiot. He was very kind, and he walked up... Shouldn't assume his gender. It was a guy. He walked me up to the tablet and was like, here, man, this is how you do it. This is your showing. But I must have misspoke, and I was like, my friends, they're going to see a movie at 9:20, and I can't figure out what the movie theater is. So there was a showing at 9:20 in a different auditorium. So they're blasting Minions out of different... Minions was a big 4th of July hit, okay? And I found out later why. Or I found out later why there's the MinionMania, okay? There's a MinionMania, okay? And a byproduct of the MinionMania is that they're blasting Minions out of 3 different auditoriums. And there was a showing at 9:20, but the showing I wanted to see was at 8:20 in a different auditorium. And I must have misspoke to the concierge that I wanted to see a 9:20, so he showed me how to get a ticket, but I wasn't paying attention, so I bought the ticket, and I was panicking. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Well, actually, here's what happened. I looked at the ticket, and I was like, great, 9:20. I'm on time. And not really, because I thought it was late. I wasn't even paying attention. I walked into the wrong auditorium. It was empty, and some 3 workers bust in the door, and they're like, hey, what are you doing in here? And I was like, I'm sorry. Is the Minions showing? I'm sorry, I'm 24, I'm alone. I'm in an empty auditorium looking around. Is the Minions showing here? And they were like, no, but if there's a problem with your ticket, take it to the concessions, and they'll help you out. And I walk over to the concessions, and I was like, wait, okay, so I just spent 15 minutes being confused. So there goes 15 minutes of this, 90-minute kids movie that I've already missed 20 minutes of. So I was panicking, right? I need the good deets on the juicy Minions, the MinionMania. I'm freaking out, but so I get to the concessions and there's this. I wasn't paying attention. There's like 4 lines to concessions, but I chose the shortest line. But the shortest line had a lady getting angry at the concessions guy, and I was like, okay. I wasn't even really paying attention to the anger. I should have, because it seemed funny, but I was like, this lady, you're killing me. I need to see the Minions, okay? You're in my way. Anyway, I'm panicking, but all the lines are getting longer, okay? And then I look to my left, and who do I see but Saint Jake walking this way. But right off the bat, I was like, oh, he's looking for me. He knows I'm late. He's so nice, okay? But he's walking out. He's like looking around, but not for me. He's looking for the concierge, the guy I talked to earlier. And he was like, I walk up to Jake, excited, like, hey, here I am, you know? But Jake actually came out to tell the concierge that that the theater was too quiet. But I was too happy to be relieved that I was at the right theater, A, and B, Jake. Literally, as I look to my left, as I'm freaking out in the line, I look to my left, and there's Jake. The ceilings are tall, and I guess kind of tall. But there was a light, like, beaming down from the ceiling onto Jake, and I was like, yes. Anyway, I was too happy to, like, you know, be upset that he wasn't looking for me. And in fact, I thought it was funny that he was taking the initiative to walk out of the theater and be like, hey, our theater's too quiet. Turn it up. So that was kick-ass. Anyway, but Jake was like, hey, there you are. I was good, you know. But he was in a mode. He was in I'm at a kids movie mode with my boys, and he was just trying to get stuff done. And I know, Jake, you guys are going to hear him someday, and it'll be great. It'll be awesome to have him on the cast. You'll get the energy I'm talking about here, okay? So, puts his arm around me and he walks me into. I felt so safe in your arms, Jake. I was like, you have no idea how I had just spent 15 minutes being lost in this movie theater and being too polite to just grab any damn ticket I wanted and just walk into the theater that they were at. But I didn't know which auditorium there. I was lost, Jake, and you saved me. And you put me in your arm and you walked me right to the theater we needed to go to. And there I was, sitting. The Minions were there. And boy, was that movie a romp. Okay, here we are. The meat and bones. I'm not going to give you the entire movie plot, I guess. You know, if spoilers, you know, here it comes. If you haven't seen the Minions by now, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, spoilers. Who cares? Here we go. Sip of iced tea first. Right off the bat, the movie's a romp, okay? Minions are getting into all kinds of mischief, constant. You know how kids' movies are these days. It's very, you know, the pacing it's quick. It is very, what it caters to our shorter attention spans. And you know what? I'm not dissing that, because I have a pretty short attention span. You know, maybe it's longer than some others, and maybe I have a good attention span on some certain days. We can get into that some other time. But it's very fast. The movie's very fast, of course. All right, I expected that. You know, I've seen a lot of modern kids' films, and I'm kind of used to it now. You know, the movie was damn good. it was pretty good. It didn't go without its like I don't know, weirdness, I guess, for lack of a better term. Gru is lovable, and I mean that only from the context of him being a kid this time. Maybe I'd have to go back and watch the Minions or Despicable Me or whatever the hell, his legacy. Okay. I can't believe I'm talking about this. It's so hot in here. Anyway, Gru is lovable. He's kind of a badass, okay? The whole movie, you love him. Yeah, he's the main character, okay? He is the main character. I have had this weird aversion to the Minions. They're so strange, okay? It just seems like another weird circus of pop culture, the Minions as an entity, okay? I never understood the obsession with the Minions, and I've come to a few revelations about the Minions, but I don't want to spoil. I don't want to be too cynical for a lot of this. The Minions are rock stars, okay? I walk into the theater and damn, it is packed in there. I was like, wow, people love the Minions, okay. Still weird. There was a guy in the front row, he was like screaming. He was like, hell fucking yeah, dude. It was funny. He was very enthusiastic, actually, and I come to find out why later at the end of the movie. Lily fills me in on the MinionMania. But the movie's a romp. It's so fun, and, I'm just going to come right out and say it. It's weird to me that the Minions are speaking Spanish. They're speaking Spanish. Or they're saying Spanish words with like a little bit of gibberish here and there. And through that lens, it's like offensive for me to say gibberish. You know what I mean? Also, another thing is they're all wearing overalls. So someone someday, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't overalls like, I don't know, primarily like working pants? Anyway, I don't know if y'all are getting what I'm saying, right? So they're speaking Spanish and they're all workers, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. It was weird. I couldn't get over it. Yeah. I love Gru. He's a white guy, whatever. We love Gru. He's lovable. He's a kid. But he grows up, obviously, and he still has his minions, right? And they're called minions. Let's just, let that sink in for a sec. Because it sunk in for me. The whole movie. It was sinking in hard. That's not all, though. But more on that. At one point in the movie, so Gru steals this really rare thing from the bad guys. So if you know anything about the Minions lore, the Gru lore, he wants to be a villain. He is a villain. He's a villain at heart, dude. That's why he's a fucking G. Okay, it's very funny. So he steals this thing, this very precious thing. I'm trying not to spoil it. I care. I want you guys to see the Minion. He steals these things from the bad guys, okay? But really, he's the bad one, if you know what I mean? Anyway, he steals this thing, and one of the Minions, I forget, he passes off this very rare thing to one of his Minions, and, the Minion loses it. He doesn't lose it, he trades it for a pet rock, okay? And Gru's mad. He's very mad at his Minions. He's very upset with them. And he fires them. And that's the worst thing that could happen to the minions, right? Just like it would be, the worst thing to be fired if you were, a Hispanic worker. I don't know. Okay, it was just a weird. They were devastated. It was just a thing. They were devastated. They were all like, "Oh no," But they played it off. It was a kids movie. Anyway, moving on. Hot take. This is a hot take. I loved the Minions. Okay, it was just weird. Anyway, he fires them. They're very sad. I'll tell you why that's important later. He fires them, then he gets kidnapped by the bad guys, and then, three of the minion, or like the one minion, luckily the one minion sees him get kidnapped, and then he goes back and tells all the other minions, they're like, we gotta save the boss, okay? And they go on this, mission. There are 4 main minions, okay? The one minion who lost the thing, he's a riot. Guys, come on. He's so funny. Anyway. Then there are these 3 other minions who are like the badass minions. I guess I didn't even think about this. They're kind of like the penguins, You guys know Madagascar's the penguins? There's 3, semi-coherent penguins, and then there's one crazy one. Well, the one crazy one lost. Anyway. Literally, the Minions is Madagascar's penguins. Whatever. Replaying history. Anyway, so the one Doopy Minion lost the medallion or whatever, and he goes on his own separate journey to find the medallion. It's the medallion, that's this rare thing. And the 3 other more coherent minions, in quotes, go on this journey to save Gru. All the meanwhile, Gru is, I forget, I spaced out. He ends up with his favorite, villain growing up. Somehow, I forget, but he's the founder of these bad guys. Anyway, I'll tell you why that's important later. So the 3 other more coherent minions go on this journey. And, it's a romp, like I said. It's just nonstop shenanigans, hijinks, okay? There are funny moments, okay? And I'll tell you the funniest moment, the best moment, the creme de la creme of this movie, okay? Boy, oh boy. So at one point, the 3 more coherent minions end up in the trio. I'm going to call them the trio. They end up in Chinatown, okay? And they're getting chased by some bad guys for some reason, and they end up in Chinatown, okay? I was like, all right, Chinatown, sick. I love Asian stuff. I just do, okay? Sue me. I'm like, let's see hold on. Before I talk any further, let me find out. Is it Pixar? Universal. Okay, let's see. That might be why it was kind of sick. I like Universal Studios. Okay, or is it Universal Pictures? Whatever. Let's see what Universal Studios has in store for me with this Chinatown take, okay? They're cornered in Chinatown, and they end up having to fight back, and then it's all of a sudden it's this interior shot of this grandmother, I assume. It's old Asian woman, okay? Very caricature, cartoony thing. She's performing acupuncture on someone, okay? Very Asian, of course. She's doing acupuncture. And she notices the trio getting into a brawl outside of her shop window, and she rolls out. She looks at the bad guys, and she says, "Hey, you like to pick on Little People or something. Do ya? And she just does some crazy choreographed kung fu. And I lost it, okay? I was laughing so hard. And no one else was laughing. I felt like no one else was laughing. I was laughing very hard, and I had to reel it in real quick. And I'll tell you why it was so funny. I think, thinking about it now, is that everything is a caricature. If you're doing, like, you know, kids' movies and you're doing tropes, you know, like they want it to be funny or whatever. But it was just so funny how hard they were hammering in this old lady, this old Asian woman as this kung fu master. It was so over the top and insane. Just think about, you know, like my gut reaction is then to burst out into laughter, and then everything following this whole caricature of her, like, because it was like, it must have been like, it felt like 10 or 15 minutes of just her being such a sick fucking, you know, kung fu master, and like with the trio mixed in, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, and she like takes them under her wing and like does this whole like montage, you know, classic montage of them learning kung fu. She like is a master at acupuncture. She like has this guy on this table at one point doing acupuncture, and she's like talking to them and like doing acupuncture, but like using the guy's arms with her acupuncture to like do the hand gestures as she's talking to the trio. So she's like, you know, and that's just killing me. You know, she's so good. Anyway, I make it through that barely without completely embarrassing myself. And, you know, we get through it. And she dismisses them kind of by being like, you guys are ready. And then the trio like run out of her dojo. And then she like, and she gets cut off by them running out because she was about to be like, to receive your newbie kung fu awards, blah, blah, blah. So they weren't ready, haha. But they rush out anyway because they're the minions and they're sick rock stars and they can... Nothing stands in their way, okay? They're the minions, all right? Oh, man, I would love it for someone to re-listen to the episode and do a Minions counter for every time I say Minions, because the more I say Minions, it really hammers in the original cloying thought that I had, and it's just intense. So they leave to continue the quest to save Gru. At this point, Gru, you know, I cared about Gru's little timeline. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about Gru. You know, sorry to say, Gru was the shit. He's the crux, okay, he is Despicable Me. Anyway, he is their universe. Whoa. So they go to save him, and at this point he's been taken under the wing of his own master, right? So, I didn't even realize. Somehow there's some kind of, you know, plot points where he gets taken in by the guy who founded the bad guys, and they're like, you know, doing this their own little montage of, you know, little life lessons to be a villain or whatever. Why is that relevant? Let me think. A lot happens, you know, the episode's already very long. A lot happens, they meet up at the end, blah, blah, blah. There's a big finale thing. You know, one of the minions is cornered. It was turned into a ram or something, or it was turned into a rabbit at some point. Watch the movie. I don't care. I'm not explaining why it was turned into a rabbit. And, you know, the rabbit minion the rabbit was a part of the trio, and he was cornered and singled out, and was stuck with his back behind the wall. And this was funny to me that the old lady then comes back in his mind and is like, "Unleash your inner beast." And I was like, that's funny. I don't know. Anyway, they beat the bad guys, and at the end, the Doopy Minion gives Gru... Oh, no, that's not at the end. That's, like, earlier in the movie. But, happy day, right? The Minions save Gru, at the end of the day, and Gru's like, "You guys are the best. Why would I fire you? Why would I have fired you? You guys are awesome workers." And that's it. He rehires them, and that's it. That's their reward. It's that they get rehired, and that just blew my mind. I don't know. I feel like I guess he repays them through their lifelong friendship. Whoop-de-doo. Because they're his only friends, and that's cute, right? That's fine. Good on you, Universal. Great film. Instant classic. Okay. So at the end of the movie, my friend Lily was there, Jake's daughter, Jake and Summers' daughter, and she was telling me at the end of the movie, she was like, "Did you know that there's this trend happening?" And I was like, "Oh, a trend." And she was like, "Yeah, it's like this thing for people to like film themselves getting hyped up for this movie, and like dressing up and whatever, and like getting ironically being hyped up for Minions." And I was like, "That's very funny." I hadn't seen a video yet. I'm on the internet, but I haven't seen a video of that trend yet. Which made sense because people were ecstatic to be there. They were besides themselves with joy, which kind of explained the applause. Although sometimes something cool would happen in the movie, like the Minions accomplish some task and everyone would like applaud. And I was like, okay, I don't know. Just me being a dick, really, is. I was like, what the fuck are you guys applauding for? This shit sucks. But I didn't feel that way. You just, I guess, had to be there. You were like, okay, I guess we're applauding now. But yeah, so there's this craze, and now I'm on the cutting edge of the... I almost missed the wave, and happenstance went and saw the Minions. And, 6 out of 10, I guess. It was a romp. So, there you have it. Episode 2. The big 2. All about Minions. And some. Thank you for listening. And, join me next time. The other thing about... Hold on, before I let you go. The other thing about this podcast is... I do say it's like a journal. And it's not. There are definitely nuances that make it something completely different. Like the fact that I'm putting it out there and anybody can listen. So, obviously I have to like filter myself in some ways. Because I'm not going to be telling everybody that I have a podcast, right? And if you're listening, do me a favor and, I don't know. I guess it doesn't have to be a secret, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just paranoid, guys, okay? But anyway, it's like a journal, kind of, in the sense that, I kind of juggle a lot of different hobbies because I'm, somewhat of a Renaissance man, if you catch my drift. I juggle a lot of hobbies, and I'm really excited about this now, and I might be posting podcasts pretty frequently, but, there might be a time where I, get out of it, and it's a hobby. It's not a job, so 2 back-to-back episodes. I was very eager today to record another one, and I was even more so to hear that I would be watching the Minions and provide this golden content for you guys. So thank you for listening again, and yeah.